I'm not going to stop anything.
Hey
We're just going
everyone,
to go
Kirk
back and
Herbstreit
watch.
here with EA Sports College Football 25, back for another deep dive. This time we're talking about everyone's favorite mode, Dynasty. Online Dynasty in College Football 25 can accommodate up to 32 teams, and you can play with friends for up to 30 seasons. Today we'll take a closer look at the new 12-team college football playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal, and a ton of customization options to make your program unique. College football has seen seismic changes over the past few years. And in EA Sports College Football 25, you can experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want. The 2024 season marks the debut of the new 12-team college football playoff, and you can play it first in the game months before the
Once
real
before
thing.
it actually happens.
You can
Yep.
be the first coach to lead your school through the new 12-team playoff and hoist the college football playoff trophy. Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football, and in a world of unlimited transfers, managing your dynasty roster has never been more important. Evaluate your needs and opportunities for talent upgrades at the start of each season. The best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your recruiting board. Each year, over 3,500 high school recruits are generated from all over the country.
It's at 3,500.
With certain regions representing real-world hotspots for blue-chip talent, like South Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program and determine who you can realistically land. A recruit's interest
It shows
in
you
your
his
school
abilities.
is
Did y'all see
decided
that?
by 14 different pitch grades like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover how your program's pitch grades align with your recruit's desires, in addition to scouting for talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement, and if your program cannot provide, the recruit will lock you out.
I mean, that's just like the old ones.
Deal breakers
Seen
also
that before.
drive a player's decision to enter the transfer portal. Monitor at-risk players and get one last chance to convince your favorites to stay.
At-risk
Track your
players?
recruits as they narrow down their
It
top
doesn't mean what I
schools.
think it means.
Pitch a prospect to gain more interest, and then set up school visits when the timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5, to finally be part of their top 3. As a recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal. If your school doesn't have exactly what the prospect is looking for, you can try to sway their opinion in your favor. Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a quarterback visit with a wide receiver visit at the same time.
Oh, so they can become homies.
It's crucial to keep an eye on the transfer portal when it opens in the offseason to round out your roster with talent you couldn't land from recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter timeline to land a new home. Conference realignment is a hot topic in college football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control. See what a 20-team super conference might look like, or revert to the traditional conference alignment. Shape the conference size and membership and set custom conference rules.
That's going to be a big
Set up
deal for these
divisions
online
and more.
dynasties for sure.
Once you've settled your conference options, it's time to select your team. Begin with a highly ranked team and dominate at the top with repeat recruiting and playoff success. Or build from the ground up with a smaller program and prove you have what it takes to go from an unknown
The
to
old Raging
postseason
Cajuns.
favorite. We can't talk about your dynasty without talking about your starting job. Start as an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach, or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types to start. Your coach type will determine what coaching skill tree you start with. From there, the abilities you acquire as you progress will determine what kind of coach you develop into. Unlock additional skill trees with better abilities. Or if you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more diverse skill set. The
That
coaching
looked like a
carousel
lot.
is an important part
It looked
of
like a
every
lot more than
coach's
we usually
journey.
get for
Whether you're the
coaches.
head man at your dream school or working your way up, the carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs. Head coaches in Dynasty can actively manage their coordinator positions. So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons, you can use the carousel to replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff. Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success and your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater. Well, that's it
That's
for today's
interesting.
deep dive into Dynasty Mode in EA Sports College Football 25. To make it game day
That's
every
it.
day this season,
They said this thing was
pre-order the
16,000 words.
MVP
Maybe the
bundle.
written one is much more. I do want to go back a couple. 'Cause there was some
In the
things I
game,
wanted to point
months
out.
before the real new landscape while building your program the way you want. The 2024
Who's in the
season
recruiting
marks the
tab?
debut
Let's
of
see
the new-
here.
Managing your
Recruiting.
dynasty roster has never been more important. Evaluate your needs and opportunities for talent upgrades at the start of each season. The best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your recruiting board. Each year, over 3,500 high school recruits are generated from all over the country, with certain regions representing real-world hotspots for blue-chip talent, like South Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program and determine who you can realistically land. A recruit
So wait. That's what I wanted to look at right there. So look, this dude, because they show a couple different versions of scouting the recruits. Oops.
Atlanta. Do research to find recruits
So this dude's 100% scouted,
that best fit your
0%
program
scouted.
and determine who you can
right? And then 0% scouted. All like this is not new. I'm not worried about this. All the question marks and shit.
realistically land.
Here's 40%. Here's 80%. Now, okay. So 80%, not only are you able to see some of the abilities, or I'm sorry, some of the attributes that get unlocked, you can also slide over here and you can see that 80% of this dude's abilities are shown. So like 4 out of 5 right here, which is important because if you know anything about sports games, the way that they work now, they're all abilities. The attributes matter a little bit, like they're not nothing, but the abilities are what carry all the athletes in these video games. So to be able to unlock the abilities and to try to like pinpoint exactly which abilities you have on your field or like how you're recruiting them, that's going to be important. But look, they also have this Madden style development trait right here. I want to see, do we see something higher than that? That dude, look, this last one here, boom. This dude is 100% scouted and you still don't know what their development trait is. So that's interesting. You also get some insight into like their mental, like that's cool. But what the hell? Like we don't get to know their development trait. Is it like Madden where you don't know the development trait until you recruit them, until you draft them, right? I'd be interested to see that.
Interest in your school is decided by 14 different pitch grades like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover how your program's pitch grades align with your recruit's desires, in addition to scouting for talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement, and if your
Pitch grade
program
feature,
cannot
that's
provide,
been in the
the
old ones
recruit
too.
will lock you
They've
out.
always had those pitch grades.
Deal
And they've
breakers
always
also
had, so this
drive
is
a
like
player's
maybe
decision
like
to
a new
enter the
refined
transfer
system,
portal.
but it's always been in the
Monitor
game.
at-risk players and get one last chance to convince your favorites to stay. Track your recruits as they narrow down their top schools. Pitch a prospect to gain more interest.
I'm just hoping this is, yeah, it was OP. Like there were always ways to like get 5-star programs at, University of Louisiana Monroe. Like I could just start out and get 5-star prospects. Like you kind of had to like handcuff yourself to make sure you didn't cheese it. I'm hoping that it is like inherently more difficult, so you can't just cheese the recruiting system, because that's the last thing I want for these online dynasties. That's what I'm most excited about. I don't want to have to put rules in place so people don't cheese. I just want to play the game, and if you recruit well, you recruit well. If you don't, then you don't. If you play well, you play well. If you don't, you don't. Like just have it straight up be the guy and their skill set and the school and what they have to offer. That should be dictating it, not being able to cheese it. So they didn't really go into it. Like they went into like how it would work ideally. Like you just kind of sell what you need to sell, but there's always a workaround here. You know, Nardone's promising the first-year starter. He might, dude. I don't know what the hell Nardone's going to do, because you can't have 55 first-year starters on your roster, Nard. So it's going to be a tough one. Dude, why does he keep minimum? There we go.
And then set up school visits when the timing is right.
When the timing is right, set up your school visit right after, you're on like a win streak, or like they even said right here, listen.
Crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8. Timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5 to finally be part of their top 3. As a recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal.
I want to go.
You can try to sway their opinion in your favor. Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a quarterback visit with a...
Boom. This is what I wanted to talk about. This didn't really matter in the old ones when you pair visits, like I would go and I would always just make sure whatever team that we were facing, I knew we were going to kick the ever living shit out of them. I'm bringing all the recruits. We're going to watch us win every game. We're going to party afterward. Like that's the experience. But having complimentary visits, like you bring in a quarterback, 5-star quarterback, 5-star wide receiver. These guys are going to be utilizing each other. They got to have good chemistry. They're going to have to communicate. You bring them in together, and if they click, that could enhance, your programs, just like where they're listed and where they're ranked in that recruits list. I think that's interesting. So, like, what else would matter? Like a running back and offensive lineman, right? Or like D-line partners, linebacker partners, corners. Like, what else is there? Like, what relationships are there? Like the quarterback wide receiver one's really obvious. I feel like all your recruits are going to be at one game, so the chem is off the charts. I don't know what like meta strategies there's going to be, bro. I'm going to be trying a whole different. I'm going to try my best to like stay off QB and the wide receiver sister. Great, Chem. Probably not. Probably going on opposite sides of the country.
At the same time, it's crucial to
stage open. So they can be at different stages at different times, I'm wondering, Like there's not just okay, it's week 6, so now everyone's limiting their shit to, 8 schools. I want to know if they're on different timelines.
Keep an eye on the transfer portal when it opens in the offseason to round out your roster with talent you couldn't land from recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter timeline to land a new home.
I'm nervous about the transfer portal, I'm not going to lie.
College football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control.
Let me see what other thing interested me the most. The coach stuff.
We can't talk about
also, side note, maybe a little sus is what it is. I don't care. Look at this guy's lifted up shirt. Look at homie's 6-pack, bro. Homie's 6-pack is in the game. EA Sports. Look at this. That's cool. That's cool though. Like as weird as sus as that might be. That's cool. I like that.
We can't talk about your dynasty without
hopefully the coaching models are better, because this looks lame as hell. This looks like default 1.
And climb the ranks to head coach, or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types to start.
Look at these skill trees that they push here, and all the branches off.
You start with. From there, the ability.
Hold on. So master motivator, Look at these tier 1 through 4 extra gear, toughness, stamina, veins, composure, off-season training boost. So this is like a development one. Starts the fourth quarter hot in close games. And like you can look, this is what I'm imagining, like, oh, here's tier 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta be something like that, right?
As you progress will determine what kind of coach you develop into. Unlock additional skill trees with better abilities. Or if you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more...
I mean, so we have this. So I was playing 14 the other day. They have this, right? But it's very, very shallow. Like that is not a fleshed out experience with like the coaches and the skill stuff. You know, you have like 4 on the bottom row. You got to do as many points to unlock the next row. And then it's like, that's it, right? That's it. And it's the same thing for every head coach. It's the same thing for every OC and DC. So I think it's really interesting, the fact that we have like different branches. These are always really fun, right? And there's a million different ways you can do it. And I'm going to be testing out as many of the ways, you know, to like make the optimal coach as possible. But the unfortunate part about this is in gaming in 2024, someone's going to release a meta. There's going to be a meta way to do this. You know, you're going to be like a master recruit, you know, with master development, and you're going to have 99 rated players going into, you know, University of Troy by year 3, you know, just stuff like that. Just, I get excited about this because the heart is in the right place with this type of development, but yeah, it's kind of a gut punch knowing how it's going to play out, unfortunately.
More diverse skill set. The coaching carousel is an important part of
Matt Patricia and flip-flop between OC and DC.
Whether you're the head man at your dream school or working your way up, the carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs.
Now, this would be cool. Like, I want to pitch this to all the guys that play Online Dynasty with us. I want to pitch, hey, you take an OC or a DC role, and you have to start at like a 1 or 2 star, 3 star at the most type program. And then we're just going to be flying around. Everyone's going to be taking different offers. And it's really about the coach versus about like programs, right? Because everyone's going to be doing that. Everyone's going to be doing dynasties, and they're going to be Ohio State, and they're going to be University of Miami and UT and A&M and Alabama. And it's going to be about building up that program. I want to do a dynasty that's also about building up your coach, right? Like building up their legacy and stuff. That shit would be so much fun, I think. Everyone starts as a low level, like we're doing with Buddy Weiser right now, the low level Ball State offensive coordinator, you know? So a certain portion of the game is outside of your hands. That would be crazy. That's cool, man. I'm super into that. Hopefully we can get some people to do something like that. Like every game doesn't have to be against a real player. There are so many teams though, like you just can't, right? It's like 100+ teams in this game. You can't only play users. Yeah, you can't only play users.
Head coaches in Dynasty can actively manage their coordinator positions. So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons, you can use the carousel to replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff.
That part is interesting to me. You know, that part is interesting. The fact that you can bring along similarly minded OCs or DCs, your assistant coaches, with you, and it stacks boosts that you get from it, that stuff's interesting. Like, before, it was just a wash, right? Oh, you get a +3 to throw power because their head coach is a good quarterback guy. Then you bring on another quarterback guy, and it's just a wash, right? Like, they would be a waste. But now are we getting +6 to throw power type shit, right? Because my OC is also a good quarterback guy. That's something else I would be very interested to know. You know, is that what they mean by stacking? Every time I press play, it does this. Like, look, what is that?
Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success and your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater. Well, that's it for
Greater,
today.
like, is that additive or multiplicative? Like, what is great? That's not really. This doesn't help that much. Greater.
Deep dive into Dynasty Mode in EA Sports College Football 25. To make it game day every day this season, pre-order the MVP bundle.
I'll definitely be getting one of these guys. We're getting the 3-day early. We're getting the 3-day early. Don't care. But yeah, I don't give a shit about all this Ultimate Team stuff. I'm not going to get this bundle. I'm just not. You can't convince me. And then to New Zealand we go. You're damn right. You're damn Skippy. So all this, what is it? July 13th? How does that work? Wait, when does the game actually come out? July 19th. So 3 days early would be the 16th, right? Let's do early release date. By 16th. So the 15th if we're in New Zealand, yeah? Okay. We could do something like that. All right, well, I'm definitely going to keep up with the rest of these deep dives, that's for sure. I'm locked in, bro. New Zealand, NZ, baby. Yeah, I'm locked in on these.